Alright guys, it's Dustin here from DG's Pro Tech. We're doing a couple of these DG's videos, but we're going to do them a little shorter and a little sweeter for you guys because sometimes they get dragged on a little bit longer. Today, what's our patient today? Today we're dealing with a 6.7 Cummins in a 4th gen body style Ram. 6.7 liter is your 2007 and a half, right up to technically current, same engine, basic overall design. One of the failure points we've seen in the 6.7 over the years is, again, if you kind of know what I'm looking at here, you've got your cylinder head on your inline. This is your intake manifold piece technically. This bolts down and all of your air going into the engine goes by this heater grid, which actually warms up in the winter when heated by a fairly large electrical coil. And this allows us to heat the air up and ease in starting. It's also good for emissions to keep warm air going in when it needs to be warmer. Now, cold air is dense and good for the engine as far as making it make peak performance, but when it's extremely cold, we need to warm it up a little bit to keep the efficient burning correctly. Hey, system works pretty good. This eliminates, in most engines and diesels anyways, the need for glow plugs. It's a starting aid. But what can happen and fail is this little stud powers all of that high amperage 12 volt current, and this little nut on the bottom that controls or connects to the bridge of the grid can break off and fall down in the engine. So we've got a cool kit that we're going to show you. This is a preventative measure, as well as a performance increase, as well as all EO compliant certified over here. So the kit we're talking about actually comes from Galebanks Engineering, a performance company that's been around for years, and they've made, here's your stock intake horn. You can see the small area that feeds air into the engine, and this is their big banks ram area, way bigger airflow going in. This has been a performance application for many different engines they've had for years. And ironically, I believe they kind of tripped over this as a benefit, was the fact that their intake design with opened up changes your heater grid to a thread-in style heater grid instead of the grid heater style you see here. Now, by doing this, and effectively what they've done is they've eliminated the possibility of the stud breaking off, falling into the engine, which typically causes catastrophic engine failure. And when I say that, I'm talking about a bolt bouncing around, going behind the valve, smashing into the piston. Usually in the back two cylinders, so 5 or 6, takes the beating on this because of the tip of the engine. Big major engine repair over something as simple as a little grid heater. So in the aftermarket for years, it's not uncommon for a Cummins owner and driver to disconnect his grid heater or gut this for high flow, instead of having to buy a big kit like this. But then in the winter, he has cold start abilities, especially here we are in cold Canada. This aftermarket kit, by bonus, now instead you get super high flow, but then you also relocate your heater grid into that, not interrupting your flow really whatsoever, yet also eliminating the possibility for your factory grid bolt falling down and taking out your engine. There's no downside here. Catch this soon enough, not only is it preventative maintenance for long-term engine accidental fall apart, bolt-in engine's durability, but then also you get in high flow. It does have EGR provision on it as well, so you can still run factory EGR if that's what you need to do. The kit comes clean as everything does from Galebanks. There is a little bit of a limitation with the factory #1 injector line. Comes a new injector line, solves all the problems. This is a beautiful kit for any 6.7 Cummins owner that is concerned about their grid bolt falling in. Don't just disconnect it. It keeps you warm in the winter for what your engine needs. Gives you super high flow, gets you the performance, keeps that Cummins 6.7 alive. So just a little thing here from DG's Pro Tech showing you a benefit in 2 ways. Something that you can get us to install or buy product and do it yourself over a weekend. Probably easy sell to the better half too. It's actually super high value if you think of it compared to an engine failure. Anyways, that's all I have from me, us here at DG's Pro Tech. We'll give you some after shots as photos once we're done here on the clean installation. Thank you.